Welcome back to Soulful Prosperity Talks. It's been a little while since I have been here. We've been super hyper focused on breaking into the franchise industry with my Beyond Limits program. Very, very exciting stuff for my business. And personally, just been spending a lot of time with my mom, who many of you know is on home hospice, and that has taken quite a toll. I'm just grateful to have a business that supports the life of my dreams. And part of that is being able to be present for my family. So extremely grateful for that. So I'm excited for today's conversation. We have a wonderfully insightful guest joining us. Deborah is the owner of Photosynthesis Coaching and a dedicated life coach who specializes in supporting people in midlife who are starting over. That was me. While she has been coaching since 2011, she moved into this specific niche when her own life was turned upside down. Sound familiar? Forcing her to navigate several big and painful changes at once. In a fascinating past career, Deborah used to be a portrait and children's photographer. Today, she uses some of those very same skills in her coaching practice to create trust and to truly see the authentic nature of her clients. She coaches from the heart, compassionately, helping her clients to work their edge and gracefully move through their tough changes in life. The most important message she wants to share with us today is that change is hard, and the key to getting through it is self-awareness, curiosity about the obstacles, and self-empowerment to take action. Please help me welcome Deborah Donenfield.
Hi there. Thanks so
Hi.
much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. I'm super excited. Like I said, it sounds like we have a lot in common. So it's Soulful Prosperity Talks, and this is beautiful, deep conversations about your journey and what got you here. And people think of prosperity, they think of only money, but it sounds like you really get it, that it's really about what we overcome and who we become in our journey. So start wherever you want. I will be taking my notes and probably have some questions and some thoughts in between, but I'll try not to interrupt your flow. So start wherever you feel you want is relevant.
Sure. Well, I mean, interestingly, I think that when you're talking about prosperity, you're right. It's not only about finances. I mean, you can have incredible wealth and not have your health, and then you pretty much have nothing, right? Or you can be unhappy in your relationship, even if you're very successful financially. So it's like all aspects of your life play into one another, and and each aspect of your life is important. And so
Yes.
prosperity, to really prosper in your life, I think means uh, going that extra mile to actually create the self-awareness that creates the good relationships, that creates the good communication, that creates wealth in every aspect of your life, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
But I'll tell a little bit about my story of how I got into this, because I think it's relevant to most people. That, I feel like in midlife is the time when changes come, but you're not necessarily expecting them. We all kind of feel like, all right, I'm getting settled in now. Maybe my life isn't perfect, but I want to maybe tweak this and I want to tweak that, and I can accept certain things. And the universe just kind of says, oh, no, 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 I'm so sorry, but that is not happening. And we get thrown for a loop. And often the rug feels like it's getting pulled out from under us. And that is what happened to me. I was getting divorced after three agonizing years of trying to figure out of whether I could do this, whether I should do this, how is this going to affect my children? Okay, and we're moving forward with the divorce. And right as at the time that we're about to tell our children, I find out that my husband's business has completely tanked. So there's zero money in his account. And I thought I was going to stay in our apartment, but now clearly we're going to have to sell our apartment and I'm going to have to move. So I'm going to have to uproot my children. I'm going to have to move. I'm going to have to look for other work because my work wasn't going to be able to support all of us. And so it was a lot of really unexpected, undesired change.
Yeah.
And on the other side of it, I kind of thought, wow, it would have been really nice to have a guide. Like, wouldn't, I kind of did it all myself, really dug in, did all the spiritual work, all the energetic work, and all the really pragmatic work. And it was a terrifying time. And it would have been so nice to have somebody with me holding my hand. And so now I'm trying to just be the guide for other people who are going through these really difficult times. Like, there's no need to go it alone.
Wow. That's a great story, a great journey. So how long ago was that?
That was 2012.
Okay. And
It's
how,
sort of midway through 2011 is when it started, and I moved out in 2012.
okay. So what did you do? What kind of work did you get into?
So I certainly continued with my therapy. I bought every self-help book out there. I talked to friends. I went to yoga. I did a trade for yoga because I really wouldn't have been able to afford it. I really had no money, so I did a trade with photography for yoga. Um, I really dug into all the soft skills, And at the same time, I was doing odd jobs. I was doing personal assisting. Any job I could get my hands on, I was doing. So I felt like I'm doing all the pragmatic things and I'm looking for full-time work and I'm doing all of these things. But I felt like if I don't really dig into the energetic aspect of this, I'm not going to feel like I've done everything. And I need, whether you believe that it has an effect or not, whether it did have an effect or not, I needed to feel like I was doing everything I possibly could to get
So
through it.
what is the energetics behind it? What does that mean to you?
So what that means is, like, there's an energy in us and around us, and that's affecting us, and our energies are affecting other people, right? And so it's like, how do you feel when you get up and do you ever get up and have a little dance party by yourself in your apartment?
Oh,
Like, that's, something in your energy changes, something shifts. If I'm going to send a really important email, I'm usually going to have a little dance party or do something with my body and move my body before I sit down to send that email, because my energy will be different. And
mm,
so that's sort of what I mean, is that I needed to make sure that I was putting out the right energy into the world to
mhm,
get back what I needed to get back. And also sort of accepting, like, okay, I understand that this is not what I want, and this is really hard and it's really scary, but I'm going to accept that there's some bigger reason that I need to go through this, even if I don't understand it now, even if I never understand it. But I kept saying to myself, I kept thinking, all right, these are growing pains. You can't grow without going through some kind of pain. Like, sadly, that's the truth, right? Like, you can't have the growth doesn't come with a life of unicorns and rainbows. Like, you have to go through some hard stuff in order to grow. And I kept saying to myself, you're going to be really big on the other side of this.
oh,
You're going to be so big.
well, I can relate. I guess I was 51. It was 2022, June of 2022. I was on top of the world, and in some ways, or at least on the outside. And then my business partner basically figured out a way to rip the partnership out from underneath me. My own fault. I did not have myself protected, but I had invested all of my money into that company, and my really big income came to a grinding halt, and that investment just gone. And then my marriage crumbled right at the same exact moment. And I had made a lot of bad financial decisions because I was my husband's caretaker. I was running his office. I was paying all the bills. I was just being this, like, superwoman, people pleasing, taking care of everybody but myself person. And I don't even mean that as I was some sort of martyr. I was insecure, making decisions out of fear, scarcity, comfort, all kinds of things. So I don't mean to come across like a victim or anything. I learned the most greatest lessons in my life and have been building this business without capital from just my energy of being able to realize immediately, because I had been doing the work, the deep work. I have been studying Buddhism and practicing meditation for many, many, many years. And I was a hot mess in my 20s, kind of defaulted into becoming a realtor, just launched into the real estate industry, became an industry leader, a community leader. I was all things for all people, but never really took the time to figure out who I was and what I wanted. And so when all of that happened, it would finally all came to me. And I finally learned how to put myself first, self-care as number one. And believe it or not, through that process and changing the energy all around how I approached everything in my life, I became a better mother, a better daughter, a better everything.
Of course.
And yeah, and all of that experience really helps to make me a really great coach. So it's all meant to be. I truly believe that we go through everything we go through. Um, Helps to mold us into who we're going to be. And so even if we go through things and we don't handle them gracefully, and we don't handle it perfectly, hopefully at some point we get the lessons and we become a better version of ourselves. And now when obstacles come along or things happen, I'm just excited. Okay, so who am I going to be on the other side of this? Because
That's right.
yeah, in hindsight,
This
I can see I've just become a better version of myself.
Right. Okay, I'm getting something now, and let's see what this is going to propel me forward into. But I think that that people pleasing thing that you hit on is really a big deal for women, not just
Mhm.
for women, but for women, a lot for women, but
Natural.
for
It's
people in general.
expected. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's very old and very deep, and it comes from
Mhm.
expectations of us in childhood, and we were brilliant as children. We became the people who our parents needed us to be, and we needed to do that for our own survival. But
Absolutely.
we then take that into our adult lives, and we start behaving that way in our adult, or we continue to behave that way in our adult lives, where it's not necessary, it's not helpful, and it's holding us back. Right.
Yeah.
And so to really see that, oh, all my people pleasing is really holding me back. Like, I need to prioritize myself. Why am I not prioritizing myself? The minute you start asking that question, that's like, there's the juice, right? Like, that's the moment you can actually make a change.
Yeah. And also for me, I was able to see that my people pleasing, because you would never have known I was a people pleaser from the outside. Nobody would even believe you. I'm very opinionated and strong and all of these things. Um, but my people pleasing really stemmed from shame and insecurity. I was a high school dropout. I went to some real lows in my 20s, had a lot of trauma from my childhood that was never dealt with. So I just popped into the scene, in my late 20s, pregnant under the worst of circumstances, defaulted into real estate, and just didn't want to know anybody to know really who I was and where I came from. I didn't even know who I was. That's not who I was. Those were
Yeah.
circumstances. Those were things that I went through. It had nothing to do with who I actually am.
Yeah. You
And
wanted to forget it.
I wanted to forget it and I wanted to hide from it. And so then I just became a version of myself that I
Hmm.
thought everybody wanted me to be. And also things
Right.
are easy for me. I can take care of like so much without, freaking out and becoming overwhelmed and any of those things. So it just was a natural role for me. Like, I'll do that, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. But I never built myself security for myself. I built something
Right.
for everybody else but not for myself. And then all of a sudden at 51, all of that work just gone.
And it
I
sounds like you were very trusting also, which is a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful
absolutely,
thing
and
to
I
be able to
still
trust
am.
people.
I still am. Like,
Hmm.
I did not harden through this experience. I am not angry, or I do not blame my business partner or my husband. I can see my patterns, my limiting beliefs, my fear,
Right.
my scarcity. All of that were choices that I made. I created that outcome, and I'm very much aware of that. And that's the thing that I learned the most is we're 100% responsible for our emotions and our outcomes, period. Nobody else.
Right. And the thing about that is that it's actually very empowering. Like I think sometimes we can get very settled into feeling like we're victimized by our circumstances or by this other person or whatever. But
Look at the
it's
world
very
right now.
disempowering to be in that, right?
Yes. I think most people are in a very disempowered state right now.
Yeah.
They're blaming everything on external circumstances. And while you might have different desires, but if you can't, and this is where soulful prosperity comes in, if you don't feel good and
Hmm.
at peace within, it doesn't matter what your external circumstances are. And you were very light on it. Like, listen, it's not just about having a bad relationship. I know lots of people with lots of money that are very, very unhappy. They are
Right.
very angry. They are very anxious. They are never able to just relax or go on vacation with their families and enjoy it. There's cheating and all kinds of things happening, and
Right.
and so that's not where we're looking to go. We're looking to
Right.
get to a place where we feel good and we sleep really well at night, and we
Right.
just
And we
know
have
who we
peace.
are.
I feel
Yes,
like that is the one word that most people who come to me looking for coaching, if we drill down to what they're looking for peace.
agreed,
It's very
agreed.
interesting, right? That, yeah, I want to be happy and I want to have this and I want this in my relationship. And it's all great. Like visualize that. That's great. But when we really drill down, it's like, what would you feel if you had all of those things? I think I'd have some peace,
Yeah,
you know?
and peace is a beautiful place to be, and peace is not because everything is easy. It's equanimity. It's knowing that, even I like to think of it as I'm at the bottom of the ocean and there's this crazy storm is happening, but I'm down here observing it, and it's not rocking everything and doing everything. It's there. I can see it, but it's not impacting me in these big tumultuous
Yeah, you're the
ways.
observer of your
Yeah.
life. Mm,
Yes. Yes. And
yeah,
not judging it, just allowing it to be, and
right,
seeing where it goes. And it's not about passivity either, but it's not about being reactive to everything. And just, I think it's that constant state of judgment of what's good and what's bad. I want more of this, I want less of that. I mean, all of that is just exhausting.
right. It's the anxiety that we
Yeah.
feel like that I think for a lot of people that sense of peace is the absence of anxiety.
Yes. I mean, one of my favorite Buddhist practices, it's called loving kindness. And
Hmm.
basically you start with, I am free from anxiety, I am free from anger, and just cultivating that is really, really important, really powerful, but also wishing that for other people. I mean,
Hmm.
how would you describe the energy in the world right now?
Well, right. I would say fear is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah. And that's the collective consciousness that we've
Hmm.
all contributed to and we're all responsible for. And so the more that we contribute that, and I'm not judging or pointing blame, but I know a lot of people who do what we do, even though I don't consider myself a life coach. I'm more of a business coach. I'm a wholeness coach, right? To me,
Hmm.
there's no separation. And
Right.
I see coaches, you know, who are looking to help people with that, but they're you know and I did this for years, and my opinion was everything. I was so opinionated, and I just learned really through the pandemic that you can't shame people into thinking the way that you want them to think.
Right.
And by putting more noise out there, more opinion, more judgment, we're only contributing to that collective consciousness of fear and doubt and insecurity and anxiety and anger and rage and hate and all of those
Right.
things.
It's
So
like, can we come at this from a place of curiosity, right? The thing that I think about in my coaching is curiosity around the obstacles, but curiosity in our lives and curiosity
yes,
with people who don't think the same way we do. Can we
yes,
actually ask the questions and listen with curiosity and
yeah.
then attempt to understand? Like that's not easy. I'm not saying that it's easy for me. It is not.
But
It's
if we
hard.
were all looking at what we have in common, what our common goals are, um,
Mm-hmm.
rather than where we differ, and focusing on that divide,
Mm-hmm.
I think things would go a heck of a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, I think it comes down to if you really dig in and you really ask the questions and you really want to know and you want to get to the root of why somebody feels the way they do or believes what
Yes,
they believe, there is probably a lot more commonality at the root of what we all want for the
absolutely.
country, for the world, for ourselves, for our families. We all pretty much want the same things.
Agreed. Agreed wholeheartedly. And I don't know um, how to get that message out there. So the way that I do it best is by just focusing on cultivating myself into the best version that I can be, and shining my light, and living with love. And I love curiosity. Curiosity is really a powerful, powerful tool. It's one of the tools that I teach people how to grow their business, by just being
Hmm.
curious about their prospective clients, about what they want, and why, and just live
Right.
in space, helping them to even ask those questions, so that they begin to understand why they're thinking what they're thinking, and why they want what they want. And if we can look at the root of all of that, I think it's a really powerful place for all of us, a good to have our perspective come from.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I love
and
it.
that curiosity is paired with listening, which I think is generally what coaches do, right? How are you going to help somebody if you're not able to really listen to where they are, what they need, who they are, where this is all coming from, to really hear it,
Right.
take it in, process it through, and then, ask another question that can help them to deepen their own understanding, right? The curiosity and the listening.
But if we were doing that with all of our relationships, with our potential clients, with our employees, with all the people in our life,
Right.
really
Absolutely.
coming from that perspective, I think that that collective consciousness would soften a little bit, because
Hopefully.
it's
Yeah.
intense. It's
Yeah.
intense. So if somebody wants to coach with you, how do they find you? And just tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, sure. So they can find me on my website, which is photosynthesiscoaching.com. So as long as they can spell photosynthesis, they can find me. I chose a name that's hard to spell. And my email address is ddphotosynthesis@gmail.com. They can write to me directly, but also through my website, they can contact me. They can set up a free consult. I offer a free 45-minute consult, which I think is pretty robust, and the reason for that is, number one, whether or not we work together, I want people to feel like they've gotten something out of it, that they're coming away with something, and 45 minutes allows for that. And, it also allows us to see, are we really a good fit? Because it's hard to commit to paying for something if you don't know. So I feel like the 45 minutes allows us both to get a sense of that.
And who do you work best with?
Who do I work best with? Well, I work with both men and women. I say in midlife, which is, I would say, generally 40s, 50s, and 60s. That said, I have a 75-year-old client. I have a 35-year-old, it runs the gamut, but I would say 40s, 50s, and 60s is probably the sweet spot. And people who are going through some kind of difficult change in their lives that they're having trouble navigating, or a change that they're trying to make that they feel stuck and they can't. They've been having the same New Year's resolution for 10 years, or have been trying to make something happen and haven't been able to make it happen. Those are the
Right.
people.
Excellent. So if you had one message to get out to the world today related to soulful prosperity, what would that be?
I would say, you know, trust is really important. Trust yourself. trust your intuition, trust the process, and you know, it is really, really hard to go through change. We don't like it as human beings. And so if you can trust yourself, trust the process, and reach out to other people for help, that's going to help get you through.
Yes, I love that. Really good. Good stuff. Well, I've definitely enjoyed our conversation. I look forward to getting to know you better. I'm sure we have a lot of clients that might need each other's
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
and it's always good to have a conversation with a like-minded person. I love that you lead with your light, and that you have taken your struggles and turned them into a way to help other people through their journeys. That's just such a beautiful, soulful prosperity way to live and be. So thank you so much, Deborah, and everybody. I will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.